Hey guys, I am back with my final project share from my collaboration with Beebeecraft, using up some more of the delightful goodies that they sent me. I also focused on using up one of the summer-themed Echo Park collections that I ordered back in May. I ended up using the Summer Fun collection. I thought I was going to use the other one, but it's a little paler, and I really wanted to try making an altered binder because that's one of the supplies that's on my list of things to use, and I found that the pink in this collection matched the binder a lot better than the pink in the other collection. This is my first altered binder ever. I think it actually turned out better than I was expecting. I used up most of the paper doing this, so the rest of what I'll be showing you is going to be cards. But just to take a look at the outside of the binder here, the only problem with this size of binder is it's like not quite 8x6, which means to do the covers and to do the pages for that matter, you use up a good chunk of a 12x12 sheet. So with something like this where it was just a collection kit, I only had like one sheet of each pattern basically, so I couldn't have the same paper on the front and back covers. So I ended up choosing this paper for the front, obviously, and then I went with this cut apart on the front here because it has the same stripe pattern as what I have on the spine and the back. So I did use a couple of the little acrylic squares from Beebeecraft on the spine here, mostly to cover up the attachments for the rings in the binder. They were doing that thing where when you have paper, like light paper over something and it rubs against the surface, it starts to get dirty. So I just covered those with these, and then I tried to stick one in the middle. It went down crooked and not quite centered, but other than that, I think it looks cute. And then I just put the same paper on the back here because I had enough for the back and the spine, but not enough for the front as well. So I thought using this cut part on the front kind of pulled it all together. Using this Echo Park collection with both this binder and also with the cards I have coming up, I did do a lot of like matting on cardstock. I found that this cut apart kind of didn't stick out when it was directly on top of this pattern because it's busy as well. So I matted it on pink cardstock that I had that was as close as possible to this shade of pink. And I still didn't like it, so I had this yellow paper. I think it's either the back of this or the back of the paper that's on the back. I just decided since it would pull out some of the yellow that's on the front here, which there isn't too much, but it is there, I just used that pattern, which you can't really see, to sort of back it up again, and then I backed it up on more cardstock, and then it still didn't quite work, so I just put some foam tape behind it to sort of give it dimension and give it a little more separation from the pattern. And then I decided to throw a couple of the Beebeecraft gems in the corners just to give it a little something more, a little more focus. So on the inside here, I ended up just covering the pocket with paper, decorating it with some of the stickers from the 12x12 sticker sheet that was in the collection kit, and then I just threw some cut aparts back on cardstock just to show that it is indeed a pocket. And of course now all of the noise in all of the world has started. The air conditioner came on, my fridge turned on, and someone is home, even though it's earlier than people are usually home from anywhere. So if things get really loud in the background, I do apologize. Anyways, so the first page here, I kept the pages pretty simple because I've never done this before. I'm not sure how elaborate you can really get. So this one I just kind of embellished with a couple of little stickers from the sticker sheet that I couldn't really figure out how else to use. I was also running out of ways to use some of these smaller stickers that didn't really work as sentiments on cards, so I eventually came back and used some scraps to make some little tuck spots. They're little small ones, but you know, they're still usable. That's why here I took a cut apart and just stuck it in there to show that it is a tuck spot, so hopefully that will also show that this is a tuck spot. This page is totally blank because it's pretty busy as it was, and then this one has a cut apart being used as a tuck spot for a larger cut apart. Again, we have a plain page here, and I really liked this cut apart with the bathing suit that matches this paper. There was a sticker on the sticker sheet that was the same thing, so I just decided to use it as a tuck spot and then put another cut apart on the inside. These two pages again just have tiny little tuck spots made with scraps, and then just little stickers that I didn't really know how else to use, with another cut apart in that one. These two are again mostly plain. There's a little tuck spot here. I have a plain page on this side, and then again a larger tuck spot. I just thought this cut apart went well with this paper, and then I just stuck another cut apart on cardstock in there, again to show it as a tuck spot. And then the back cover, I ended up using the same paper for the last page as I did for the first. Again, I just put a sticker from the sticker sheet there, and then I did the same thing with the pocket as I did on the front pocket, and then used some more stickers and stuck the cut apart in the back as well. So that's my very first altered binder. I think it turned out pretty good considering I've never done it before. And then because I was left with a lot of scraps and cut aparts, along with some larger pieces that worked out as A2 size card bases, I just made a bunch of cards. I actually forgot to count how many cards I made. I made, I think, between 20 and 30 A2 size cards, and then one, like, I don't know if you can officially call it a slimline card, if that is something, like if that name is for an official size or something, but I did make one weird little skinny card, which I'll show you at the end. I did end up with a handful of scraps and a handful of stickers that I couldn't figure out how to use, although I did just have an idea earlier today that I think I'm going to use them for, so that will be in a future video. But as of when I decided I was done, I just put those scraps and those stickers in a baggie, threw them in with my scraps from my last project share, and I'll figure out something to do with those, because when I am regularly struggling to figure out what to do with scraps, that's what slows me down. Most of these cards are on either green or pink cardstock. I haven't put the white cardstock on the inside yet, because I wanted to get this filmed, but those are already cut up, so I'll be putting those in afterwards. And like I said, because these patterns are all pretty busy, I did a lot of matting with cardstock, and then all three of these I did embellish with some Beebeecraft gems. I used a lot of these black gems actually on these cards. So I have like the black gems on here, I have bigger black gems on here, little tiny green ones on there. This one I used green and pink gems. This card I ended up not embellishing with any Beebeecraft items just because I thought it was busy enough. Again, this is that pattern that I really liked with the bathing suit, so I just made a card out of that. Thought that turned out pretty good. Used some of the stickers. This one I struggled with a lot. Initially I just had it the way it is with this sticker in the middle, and I didn't really like how it looked, and I was going to embellish all of the squares with these Beebeecraft acrylic squares, but then it seemed too busy, so I ended up just putting them with the sentiment to sort of draw focus to it. I think it worked out better, and it just worked out really well that these squares matched really nicely with this green. These are two pretty basic cards. I just used a couple of the gems to embellish some of the corners. Otherwise it's just the ice cream paper with similar cut aparts as the sentiments. All three of these cards I embellished relatively minimally, again just with a couple of the gems in the corners. This one I did put some gems in the corners. You can't really see them because of the black polka dots, but I do think it kind of adds a little bit of something that wasn't there before. And then this one, I actually ended up putting two larger black gems in the corners, and then I put some on the flowers just to make it stick out a little bit, because I felt like it needed something more, but something that wasn't too big. So I think it worked out pretty well. I did something similar on this card where I just embellished some of the dots on the basket and the flowers with some of the little tiny black gems from Beebeecraft, and then I used some of the larger pink and clear gems on this card just to again give it a little something more without being overwhelming. These two I thought were both pretty busy without any extra embellishments, so I just let the paper do the work. These two flamingo cards I again embellished minimally with some gems. I just put two pink ones on this card, and then two larger pink ones here, along with two smaller clearer ones on the flamingo part. These two were both kind of hodgepodgey, and I don't really know if I'm happy with how they turned out. This one I was trying to use up some of the stickers from the sticker sheets, so I just there was this thing obviously that said summer, and then there was one that said happy, so I just put them together, and then just added some other stickers just to sort of fill some of the blank space. Sometimes I like how it turned out, sometimes I didn't, and again I embellished with some gems. And then this one I used the 1.5 inch circle punch that was sent to me by Beebeecraft on this piece of the paper with this pattern on it, because it was too small for a card base, but it was pretty big. So I cut out a bunch of larger circles, and then on the smaller paper that remained, I just used the my 1-inch punch from Michael's to do these two circles. And then I took this sticker from the sticker sheet, and I stuck it on black cardstock, did my best to fussy cut it out. I don't know how happy I am with that job. And then it still didn't stick out, so I put it on pink cardstock, rounded the corners, and put it up on some foam tape. And then it still didn't look quite finished, so I used a variety of pink, blue, and black gems in different sizes. Again, sometimes I think it turned out okay, other times I look at it and I'm like, eh. This is actually one of the last cards I made before I decided to give up on my scraps, because I was left with a lot of these 1.5 inch squares. I cut all these 1.5 inch strips that I had left into the squares to use them as cards, but I started to run out of ideas, so I have some of those left that I'm going to play with later. But this actually worked out pretty well, because I decided to do well, what I did with the squares and then put this sticker here. And then I wasn't sure what else to do, and I was thinking, well, maybe if I put some of the squares from Beebeecraft in as like diamonds down the middle here, that might work out well, and I think it actually did. I ended up with 2 blue cards, primarily because I had this paper and this cut apart left over. I initially just embellished it with the blue gems, and then I was like, I still need something else, so I took out the brown gems that I got from Beebeecraft. I just stuck 1 each on the palm trees just to add a little something more. Again, this was a card where I was struggling with scraps. It started out, I just had these 3 there, and I wanted to use these stickers up, and then it still needed something in the middle, and yeah, I don't love this one. I don't hate it, mostly because I really do like this paper, and I think it looks good on the blue, but I don't love it. That's one of the reasons I decided to stop playing with what's left, because when I get into that point of I want to use all this up, if I don't have any clear ideas, I end up semi-disappointed in what I make, and that's just kind of like a waste of time and a waste of supplies. I also ended up with 2 yellow cards for pretty much the same reason. I had all these pineapple scraps and some yellow stickers, so I just made this Summer Dreams one. I wanted to embellish it, but I really couldn't figure out what to embellish it with, so I just decided not to. And then this one, I used a scrap to sort of help pull out the sticker or the sentiment, and then I still didn't feel quite finished, so I just added a gem on each end of the scraps just to again pull in some focus. This is my first ever weirdly sized and made up the dimensions as I went along card. This is a skinny card that's also really small. It's only 6 by 2.5, and that was because I was cutting up the border strip / cut apart page that was in there, and I think all 3 of these were supposed to be like one big border / cut apart, sort of like this cut apart here, but I didn't realize it at the time. I hadn't gotten to this cut apart sheet yet when I was cutting everything up, so I ended up with like a bunch of these long skinny strips, and I could have cut this sentiment up to put it on a card, like a regular size card, but then I didn't know what to do with these. So then I thought, you know what, I always forget that you don't have to use a standard size for a card if you don't want to, so I just decided to make an itty bitty skinny one, and I layered the 3 parts that were all supposed to be one cut apart just on top of each other, and then I embellished with some green and black gems from Beebeecraft. And that is it for my project share. Again, thank you so much to Beebeecraft for sending these items out to me. I really do appreciate it. I really enjoyed playing with them. It's been really fun, especially with the gems, because there's just so many in so many different sizes and colors that I really enjoyed that. I hope I can work with Beebeecraft again in the future, because I really have enjoyed these products. They're really, really great. So again, they will all be linked below, along with my 2 previous videos, my haul video and my previous project share video. And thank you for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Please give it a share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and click the little bell in the corner to be notified when I next upload a video. I will see you guys in the next one.